But something I haven't mentioned, or at least I haven't focused on yet, is so what often happens in these kinds of situations, it happens with nations, but this also happens in neighborhoods, it happens in churches, it happens in biological families, is when bad things happen, when things are destroyed, a lot of times people start pointing fingers, right? Well, if you hadn't done this, and if you hadn't put that recipe in that book, and if you hadn't said this to that person and dropped the ball or whatever, if you hadn't done this, that, or the other, if Uncle Joe hadn't married that woman, then everything would be okay, right? Many of us have families where that could be said. If Jane hadn't worshiped that God, right? That's the ancient thing, right? If she just hadn't worshiped that God, committed that idolatry, we would be fine. If Mike hadn't put Jeffrey on the text chain, everything would be okay, right? You know how it goes. I was actually added to a family group chat last week by accident. It's ugly what people will say to each other. Everyone blaming everybody else. No one takes responsibility. And for God's people in Israel in exile, what it meant were there were two factions. There was Judah and Joseph, like two family heads, and they were at odds. And even though the entire group of them had been carted off into exile, they were pointing fingers at each other. Well, it's your fault. You guys worship false gods. It's your fault. You were greedy. It's your fault. You did this. You did that. You did this. God is judging you, and we're suffering because of it. Right? You can imagine. Listen to what God says through Ezekiel in chapter 37 to this. I'm going to start reading with verse 15. Ezekiel chapter 37, beginning with verse 15.